Welcome back, Sebastian here. Time for my review of race 1 of the 2024 London E-Prix. If you wanted chaos, if you wanted carnage, if you wanted bumper cars, if you wanted a lot of unpredictability for the championship going into that final round tomorrow in London, you got all of that today. So Evans started on pole with Buemi P2. Cassidy, really tough qualifying session, started P17. Verline, of course, P3, I believe, coming into this weekend, P4 on the grid. So for two of the top three contenders, really good qualifying, and for the leader, another rough qualifying session. So Evans, good start, keeps the lead. Fines was in the wall at the first of that kind of bus stop chicane, basically punted in there by Dennis, and that was the first of many incidents that Dennis would be involved in today. Bird was unfortunately kind of carried into the wall with him, but was able to continue. And we get a safety car as well. Miller pits, seems like he had a puncture at that point, so a bit unfortunate for him, but you wouldn't really know that looking at the final results. Bird eventually continues, but unfortunately at the back of the field. After that safety car, lap 6, Vern and Dennis collide in sector 3. Dennis just coming in way too hot, going into that kind of hairpin but with the attack mode, and basically sends Vern onto 3 wheels. Somehow they were able to kind of disentangle themselves and were able to continue. Several corners later, Roland and DaCosta crash into each other at the final corner. DaCosta did shove Roland a little bit wide in the corner before that, but for Roland, he really should have backed out of that corner, was never really there, and ended up just basically sending DaCosta into the wall at the exit of the final corner, and DaCosta was then forced to pit. So we got, at this point, Dennis is on 10 seconds in penalties, and Roland picks up a 5-second penalty as well. And you basically had drivers 4 through 7 in the championship basically completely out of contention at this point, in the span of basically 3 corners. Cassidy kind of benefited a lot from this chaos here, and he was up to 11th after being like 16th, 17th for the opening laps. Lap 9, Buemi overtakes Evans for the lead of the race. Nice move there at the first corner. Lap 11, Dennis overtakes Bird for P13 at turn 1. So Dennis not losing any of his aggressiveness from some of the earlier incidents, and was able to make some really nice overtakes, such as that one on Bird. Unfortunately, a couple laps later, lap 13, trying to overtake Cassidy at turn 3, I guess went a little bit too aggressive and ends up basically clipping Cassidy and shoving him wide on the exit of that corner. So again, stewards decide to give Dennis another 5-second penalty. So at this point, Dennis is up to 15 seconds in penalties. Hughes, some kind of issue, not sure, never saw a replay of it, but Hughes stopped at turns 4 and 5. Lap 16, Dennis overtakes Vern for P9 at turn 20. Roland, that was the 5-second penalty that was announced for the previous incident. Evans takes the lead as Buemi takes attack mode. And at this point, Verline is the best leader on energy with 64%, about 1 to 2% better than Evans and Buemi. Let's see, Evans takes attack mode as well the following lap and drops down to P2, so that allows Buemi to retake the lead. Cassidy is then shoved into the wall by Van Doren. Yeah, that was something, but no penalty there for Van Doren. So really rough afternoon for Cassidy, basically being shoved all over the track. A lot of drivers with generally nothing to lose, but for Cassidy, basically everything to lose, and being at the top of the championship. So yeah, definitely a tough situation around a track that definitely encourages really aggressive moves and bumper car-like behavior. Another failed attack mode for Cassidy. So on top of all of that, he previously, I think on the opening couple laps, he had tried to take attack mode, failed that time, and again fails here. So losing time, losing positions without getting any of the benefit of attack mode. Derula breaks his front wing, loses it on the exit of turn 4, I believe. Lap 22, Buemi down into 3rd, didn't see what happened there. I assume he was taking attack mode. Verline then overtakes Evans for the lead of the race in turn 1. And at this point, still has 2% more battery, so it really looked like he was going to be in complete control. But unfortunately for Verline, he still needed to take 2 attack modes, so he still was in kind of a bit of a weak position. because he knew that he would have to go offline, take those 2 attack modes at some point in the remaining laps. But for Verline, doesn't seem to be an issue whatsoever. Takes the attack mode the first time and stays in first. Had quite a bit of room there. Lap 24, Evans decides, okay, I'm not going to get him this time. Takes attack mode. But Verline, of course, still has that one left. And Verline, very, very strong on energy. Very, very fast laps at this stage in the race. And he was still energy positive compared to Evans. So even going through that attack mode phase, still had more energy at the end. Verline stays ahead, taking a second attack mode. That one was very, very close. But Verline, very, very strong pace in those couple laps with the attack mode. Lap 30, Gunther overtakes Evan for P2 at turn 10. So Evan's struggling a bit with energy at this point, it seemed. Nato then hits the wall at turn 2, and replay shows that he was punted by Sasha Fenestras. And Fenestras would end up picking up a 5-second penalty for that, and that was on lap 32, and that resulted in the safety car. Luckily, safety car ended after 1 lap. It was just to clear up debris, as Nato was able to keep going. Gunther, big drama here. So Gunther running in second place. He basically just starts slowing down on the back straight. You could hear something with the powertrain, the drivetrain of the car. The noise suddenly just changed, so it seemed like something broke, or perhaps it was a software issue. But really unfortunate for Gunther, he was on for a really strong podium position. And of course, this allows Evans to basically come back up to second place and close that points gap to Verline, who is at that point the virtual points leader. Cars stopped on the straight, and we had a full course yellow there with 2 added laps announced as well. De Ruvela and Jean-Eric Vergne made contact at the hairpin, and Jev gets a 5-second penalty for that. Lap 39, Verline takes a checkered flag, wins his 3rd race of the season, and moves up to the lead of the championship with 1 more race to go tomorrow. Today my time. Great result for Verline, and massive shakeup at the top of the championship standings. Cassidy was going to finish outside of the points, but ends up finishing 7th with all the penalties for drivers ahead of him, including Fenestras and for Dennis. So final result, Verline joined by Evans and Buemi on the podium. Good result for Buemi in P3. Didn't quite have the pace of the 2 leaders, but still nonetheless a much better result compared to recent races. De Vries 4th, Mortara 5th, a great haul of points for Mahindra, and then 6th is Muller in the app. So you have Mahindra powertrain 4th through 6th, easily their best result, I think, cumulatively points-wise in the Gen 3 era. 7th Cassidy, 8th Bird, 9th Van Doren, 10th Nato. So despite being sent into the wall and being in last place at points, still ends up in the points, does Norman Nato. 11th Degrassi, 12th Seti Kamara, 13th Tictum, 14th Fenestras, 15th Roland, 16th Dennis, 17th Verne. Your DNFs, Derula, who I think pitted at the end of that lap after the collision with Verne. Gunther, Hughes, DaCosta, and Frimes. Championship standings, Verline now leads 180 points, Evans 2nd, 177, and Cassidy 3rd, 173. Everyone else now eliminated, so it really just comes down to those 3 drivers with 7 points separating them for tonight's race. So really, really excited to see how that turns out. 4th DaCosta, 134, 5th Roland, 131, 6th Jev, 129, Dennison 7th, 122, Gunther 8th, 73, 9th Fine 60, 10th Van Doren on 57, 11th Bird on 48, 12th Nato on 47, 13th Hughes on 46, 14th Muller on 44, 15th Buemi on 41, 16th Mortara on 29, 17th Fenestras on 26, 18th De Vries on 18, 19, Tictum on 12, 20th Seti Kamara with 11, 21st De Ruvela with 8, 22nd Barnard with 5, 23rd Ericsson with 2, 24th Degrassi with 2, and then Van Berlinder, King, Aaron, and Collet all on 0 points. So there you go. There's my review of race 1 of the 2024 London E-Prix. Really looking forward to the season finale tonight, and I hope you are as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.